when you let go of all this chatter that is telling you you can't show up in this way because this is how you've been for so long, you allow yourself to show up as who you authentically are. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra, and on this channel we talk about all things inner work, personal development, healing the fearful avoidant attachment, and healing out of survival mode. And in today's video we are going to be talking about how to be more playful, how to actually activate that playful side of you if it has been dimmed down, if it has been shamed, if it has been just not able to come through because you are in survival mode, because you have had to go through certain things in life that have caused you to believe that I can't be playful anymore, I can't just explore, I can't just be curious, I can't just be open, I can't just speak my mind. And we're going to be talking about all of this in today's video, and we're going to be talking about what actually hinders you from being more playful, what actually keeps you from being more curious, exploring, excited. What is it that gets in the way of being playful? So from my own experience, what has stopped me from being more playful, exploring, just being excited on a day-to-day basis, excited for life, excited to explore, excited to wake up and just be kind of like in this flow with life where I'm just playing with life, seeing life as a game and not taking it so seriously, has been being in survival mode. That is the thing that has kept me from being playful, because I've gone through certain experiences in my life where I've had to enter into a protection mechanism. I've had to protect myself and I've had to put up these walls and I've had to show up in a certain way as a child to protect myself. I shut myself off and I showed up in this way where I was like, okay, if I shut off all my emotions, if I show up in this way where I'm not showing any emotions at all, and I'm almost monotone in a way when I speak, when I express myself, then I won't get hurt. Then people can't use my emotions against me. Then people can't use anything against me, because if I'm not showing emotions, if I'm not showing something that I care about, if I'm not getting excited about something that I'm passionate about, if I'm not sharing my actual opinions, if I'm just like putting up this wall and I'm showing up in a way that isn't true to who I am and I'm hiding myself, then other people can't hurt me. And that really just took away my playfulness. And it has honestly taken so much inner work and overcoming those beliefs, overcoming the ways that I used to show up, and teaching my body that I am safe now. I am safe to show up. I am safe to be myself. I'm safe to be playful. I am safe to explore. I'm safe to be curious and open and grounded and calm. I'm safe to do all of these things now because I'm not in that same situation anymore. I'm not in that same situation where I was hurt by my caregivers or I was hurt by people in my environment as a child. The people who chose to take advantage of that or didn't know any better, I'm not in those environments anymore. I'm not around those people anymore, and I can choose to show up differently. I can choose to actually just let that go, let that be what it was in the past, learn from it, learn how to protect myself in a healthier way by not shutting myself off, but by setting boundaries, by setting healthy boundaries. I don't have to just close off my heart, and I don't have to be in this constant state of survival, being on high alert, in this constant state of like, oh, like, am I okay to say this thing in front of this person? Am I okay to share that? Am I okay to feel like this? Am I okay? Like, constantly just questioning how I feel. When you're constantly in your head and you're questioning what other people are thinking of you, and you're so self-conscious and you're just thinking like, is it okay for me to share this? Am I safe enough to share that? And you're constantly just questioning everything and reading people's body language and reading their facial cues and all of these things, and you don't know how to show up because you're basing how you show up on other people, not because you feel safe inside to show up in a certain way, not because you internally have that peace within yourself that, okay, I get to show up in this way, and if this person does something that shows that I can't trust them, if this person does something that is shady or that shows that I can't really share my true emotions with them, then I just remove that person from my life, or I stop interacting with them as much. I reduce my interactions with this person because I give myself the permission to set that boundary. I give myself the permission without feeling guilty to set a boundary. If someone speaks to me in a certain way, I'm not going to take disrespect from someone, and it has nothing to do with me. It took a lot of inner work for me to understand and really know that when someone else is saying something, they're judging you, they're criticizing you, they're being disrespectful, it could be because they are projecting. Sometimes it is a reflection of the energy that you are giving off, but a lot of times it's because they are projecting. They are projecting how they feel about themselves onto you, and that has nothing to do with you. So why would you shut off yourself, shut off your life force energy, the energy that you create with, the energy that makes you feel good inside, the energy that just gives you life? Why would you shut that off? Why would you shut off your heart from experiencing everything life has to offer just for that person, just based on that person's comment, just based on the past? You get to show up as you are now. You get to accept yourself as you are, and you get to just be playful. You get to just experience life and be playful with life. And when you create that sense of safety inside for yourself using different tools like EFT, like using somatic practices, which I share about in my course, to regulate your nervous system, when you regulate your nervous system enough to feel safe inside, to be in this state of feeling grounded, of being able to make conscious choices, of being able to show up in a different identity, when you're grounded enough in who you are and you're just able to show up regardless of what other people are doing around you, you're able to show up exactly as you are. You're able to make different choices. You're able to just show up in a more playful way regardless of how other people perceive you. You're not so worried about what other people think because you know who you are. You show up unapologetically. You know that you are worthy of showing up exactly as you are, and you don't allow other people's opinions, you don't allow other people's judgments or whatever they might say affect how you show up. And so you show up, and there is this lightness about you, this playfulness that comes from not constantly focusing on like, oh my god, what are they thinking of me? Oh my god, look how like their eye shifted a little bit, like I wonder if I said the wrong thing, I wonder if I did this wrong, I wonder if I like did this and this and that. When your energy is entangled with what other people think of you, you can't be playful. When you don't feel safe to express yourself and you're constantly worried about what other people think, you can't allow yourself to be playful because you're in your head. When you're a kid and you're being playful, you're not in your head, you're in your body, you're exploring, you're just experiencing life and allowing life to come through you, to be experienced through you, through your body. You're not just always in your head, constantly questioning like, oh, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Like, no, that you can't be playful in that mode. If you're just sitting there and you're constantly focusing, oh my god, I wonder what they're thinking about me, I wonder if this triggered them, I wonder if this did that, where is the space to be playful? Are you even giving yourself the permission to be playful? You are shutting yourself off from being playful by focusing too much on other people. Love yourself enough to just show up exactly as you are, to accept yourself exactly as you are, and to allow yourself to make mistakes, to be playful, to be curious. If you say the wrong thing and let's say you were just being playful and you didn't think too much of it, like, you can always apologize. You don't have to constrict yourself and how you express yourself and into this kind of like box where you have to show up in a certain way so that other people can see you in this perspective or other people can see you in a certain way. I did this for so long and I'm literally still learning how to step outside of that box that I have created for myself. Like, I just want to show up in a way that feels so authentic to me that it just doesn't take that much energy. How you can tell if you're showing up for other people versus showing up as yourself for yourself is you'll notice you are drained when you're around other people because you feel like you have to perform. You feel like you have to show up in a certain way and show up and be a certain person for the people that you're around instead of just being yourself. And a lot of this comes from being scared of like, oh, if I show up in this way, then maybe they won't like me. So what? Okay, if they don't like you, then they don't belong in your life. Would you rather that person stay in your life just to appease you, just for it to look good on paper? Like, oh, okay, I have like this many friends, but none of them really know who I am. None of them actually resonate with me. Like, that just feels like a false life. That doesn't feel good. Wouldn't you rather to have maybe one true friend who really understands you, really gets you, who you can just share who you really authentically are, the good and the bad, and they just love you unconditionally? They just understand you. Wouldn't you rather have that? Because that is so much more nourishing than being around people who constantly put you down, who judge you, who don't allow you to show up exactly as you are, who don't allow you to be playful, who put you in survival mode. If you're putting yourself around people who are making you go into survival mode, I want you to question those relationships. Are you going into survival mode because you feel like you have to protect your energy and you're not allowing yourself to open up? Or is it something in them that they're doing? Are they judging you? Are they criticizing you? Like, why is that? I want you to really question that, because it's not always just the other person that is causing you to go into survival mode. It could also be coming from you not feeling comfortable enough to express yourself, not feeling comfortable enough with being seen, and other people holding space for you, holding a safe space for you. That can be triggering because maybe you haven't experienced that in the past. So I want you to journal on this and really see what is it for you and how can you move forward? How can you allow yourself to release this? And an amazing way to release all of this resistance that you might be feeling around being playful, around showing up in a new way, because maybe you're scared of how other people will perceive you, is using EFT to release that resistance, but also somatic practices to regulate your nervous system to feel safe enough to express yourself as you are. Because sometimes we don't feel safe enough showing up in a new identity. We don't feel safe enough to show up in a certain way around people who may have known us, and you're scared to show up because it's like, oh, like, am I going to trigger them? Like, they haven't seen me in this way before, they don't know me as this new version of me. Like, I want to make sure that I keep the peace. I want to make sure that I can make sure that everyone around me feels safe and comfortable if I'm showing up exactly as I've been showing up. Can you allow yourself to show up and trigger people? Can you allow yourself to show up in a new way? Honestly, sometimes people don't even care and they notice, but they don't even think too much of it. When you show up in a new identity, they're like, oh, you seem different. But the people who actually care about you, who are there for you, who are just there to see you grow and just be in your energy, they don't even think too much of it. They're like, oh, like, you're showing up in this new way. And they're probably just curious and they want to learn more. Like, the people who actually care about you, they're not just going to question you and be like, oh, like, why are you showing up in this way? And if they do, then maybe it's just out of fear. It's not like a malicious intention where people are just like, oh, you need to stay the same. It makes people question things about themselves, and you're just being that reflection to other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is not something to be scared of and something to dim yourself down for and stay the same for. That is all it is. Like, when you put that into perspective and think like, okay, I'm choosing to stay the same. I'm choosing to stay in this identity to make other people feel comfortable so they don't have to question their own choices. And is this how I really want to move forward? Is this how I want to live my life? Do I really just want to stay the same so I can make other people feel comfortable in who they've been and without helping other people really reflect on their own lives? Is this really what I'm choosing? No? Okay, then we can actually create safety in our body to show up in a new way, to show up in this new identity without creating all this drama around it. Like, like, when you put things into perspective, it's like, okay, like, I don't really need all of this junk that my brain is telling me. Like, that's not true. Your brain literally throws so many things at you, like, oh, like, you can't do this because of that, you can't do this because of that. And it's like so many limiting beliefs that come up because it is trying to keep you safe. It is trying to keep you in the same place because it associates unfamiliarity with being unsafe. But that is not true. And you know that consciously. But you have to create that safety for your body. You can't just tell it that it is safe. You have to show your body that it is safe by regulating your nervous system. Because when you show your body understands action, it understands when you show it that you are safe. It does not understand when you say, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, okay, sure. But inside, you're like breathing shallowly, and you're having so many anxious thoughts, and you just can't seem to calm down or sit and relax in your seat. Your body feels that way more than you saying, I am safe. Your body understands that so much more because your body understands the language of the body, which is whatever you're experiencing internally, not what you are saying mentally. And so, what you want to do is actually regulate your nervous system to be able to bring yourself back to a place where you can relax, you can feel grounded, you can show your body that you are safe enough to show up in a new identity, to show up in a playful way, to show up with an open heart. Like, nobody is here to hurt you. And if they are, you just set boundaries with that person and or remove them from your life. That is all you have to do. Because life is really not that serious. And so much of the trauma that we go through and so much of the experiences that we go through, especially in childhood, because we took those so seriously and we took them at face value and we didn't know what to make of them, they really stick with us until we can actually just sit down as adults and just face them as what they are and question them and choose new beliefs. But in order to do that, we have to create that internal safety in our body and give that permission to ourselves to show up in a new way. Because you can say, I want to show up in a more playful way. I want to show up in a more grounded and calm way. I want to show up in this new identity. But when you don't feel safe enough and it's something you haven't experienced before, your nervous system registers that as unsafe, and it is not going to allow you to do it unless you create safety in your body to do so. It is going to reject it, and that is what self-sabotage comes from. So you want to create that safety in your body to allow yourself to show up in this new way. And you don't have to learn new ways of being playful. You already are playful, you are lovable, you are creative, you are inspired. You have so many qualities in you that have just been blocked off by all the junk and all the baggage that you have carried for so many years. It is not about gaining more things, it is about removing anything that is not you. So what you're doing when you're creating the safety for your body is you're just removing anything that is not you to allow the real you to come through without all the junk that it tells you you have to show up as. When you let go of all this chatter that is telling you you can't show up in this way because this is how you've been for so long, you allow yourself to show up as who you authentically are. When you don't allow the mind chatter and all the craziness from the baggage to come through, when you actually release the resistance around that, when you release the emotions stuck in your body from the past, when you release that, the real you comes through. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to learn strategies. You don't have to learn like skills. Like, being playful is not a skill that you learn. Being playful is just innately who you are. Being worthy is who you already are. You just have to remove these beliefs from your system and help your body feel safe enough to do so, to show up in this way. And if you want to help your body feel safe and to start showing up in this new way and to help your body just feel safe inside to show up and be playful and to shift into new identities and to just become your dream woman, that is exactly what my course helps you do. And I will leave the link to that in the description below. And I would love to hear your comments, your takeaways, everything that you learned from this video in the comments down below as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.